Thank you and welcome everybody to our first webinar of this year, 2021. And uh, let's see what's in it for all of us in 2021. Uh, so somebody is okay. Thank you. Uh, so let me get started. Uh, and we'll have lot of Q&A. If you have any questions, use the chat box. Philip is going to make sure that everybody is muted, not me. Uh, so for a minute, I'll show you my video also in case. Uh, let's see if it is. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. So let's. So the first webinar of the year, and the introductions here. We will have the introductions, expectations, setting for this. And then we'll talk about 5 project management trends and 5 agile trends, the key trends. There are many, many trends. And we did our research in a couple of weeks ago. And from the research, we were able to filter out, and uh, we identified 5 and project management trends and 5 agile trends. And we do that you listen to the webinar carefully, and at the end we'll have a quiz. Okay, and the winner of the quiz will get a $10 Amazon gift card. What a great way to start the year, right? And then we'll have summary and Q&A at the end. So this is for some of you who are joining for the first time. This is our monthly webinar that we deliver during the lunch hour in the Central Time Zone. I know some of you have 10 a.m. in the morning. Some of you have 8 p.m. So it's basically different times. But since it is Central Time Zone for us, for me it is Eastern Time Zone. I am in Raleigh area in North Carolina. And the objective is that we want to share our knowledge. I want to share our knowledge with you, and you have it in a relaxed environment. So let's get into what are your expectations from this webinar. And you, cell phones, tablets, computer, or wherever you are, if you can go to menti.com, and when it asks for a code, punch this code, then you can actually type in your expectations. So let's see what are your expectations. Go to menti.com and type the code here that is displayed on the screen, 5346483. Wherever, however you can get to internet. That's the only requirement. It will work on all kind of devices. Are you able to go there? Yeah, I see one of you. Yeah, okay, yeah. Now it's started coming. Okay, very good, very good. Knowledge, that's the expectation. Yeah, of course. Okay, industry information. Okay, very good, very good. Somebody asking for agile refresh. You'll get some of that. Yeah, trends. Yeah, very good, very good, very good, excellent. So trends and knowledge seems to be the key thing here, the key expectation. PM trends, yeah, PM trend, agile trends, knowledge. Anyone else? Okay, yeah. PDUs, yeah, that's always favorite. You get one PDU for this. And we record our webinars, and those are available on our YouTube channel. So if you go on YouTube and type Refine-M, you will get several recorded webinars, and you can view those webinars and get PDUs. So if you, not only this one, but you can go and see our past one, maybe there are 30, 40 of them there. Okay, all right, very good. So trends, and that's the key part here. Definitely, we'll get that. And for some of you who are new, my name is NK Shirvastava. I am a CEO, consultant, agile coach at RefineM, and since December 2011, I have done coaching for organizations like IBM in the past, and many other organizations. Also, while working on consulting, coaching, and training, I encapsulated the knowledge and my experience into some of the products that you see here, and I'll have a slide for that very soon. Before I started my company in December 2011, I spent more than 20 years working in different companies, and starting from a hardware maintenance engineer to a developer to a project manager, senior project manager, general manager, and VP. Uh, that was my last job before I started my company. So most of my experience, almost all of it, is in project management on different areas. Okay, uh, so what's new at RefineM? So something that I can offer you, something that I can share with you. So every month we do webinars, and this is the one which you joined. And next one is going to be on February 3rd. We do on first Wednesday of each month, and this will be delivered through projectmanagement.com. So if you are a PMI member, you can join it for free. If you are not a PMI member, then we'll be able to make you the slides available for this. You may not be able to join the webinar. And as I was talking about different products that I have created over last 6 or 7 years, Essential Gear for Project Manager is a toolkit for project manager, a very simplified version of how you can make a project successful. 7 or 8 things that you have to do. It offers templates, guidance, the handbook, and best practices all bundled into one toolkit. And you can run it on Microsoft Office, um, like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, MS Project, or you can use the Smartsheet. So it is available in 2 versions. We also have a PMP test simulator for the PMP classes that we teach, and anybody who wants to practice, they have test simulator. Agility assessment is for Scrum masters, agile coaches, team managers to assess agility for their teams and see where the areas they should improve and how they can improve. We also provide resources for improving. PDU bundle is self-evident. There's a lot of PDUs there, 30, 40 PDUs you can get. And then there are self-paced online trainings. So these are all the trainings that I have delivered, but they are recorded, and there are exercises, there are case studies that you do along with those. So it's like a self-paced, any self-paced thing where you can learn on your own. Okay, some good news here that we have become a authorized training provider. We are a premium ATP with PMI. It means PMI has approved us to provide PMP trainings. We have approved trainers that are approved by PMI. So we are completely authorized training partner and with approved training instructors. So if you're looking for PMP exam prep, we already have those. We have one training course that starts every month, and you can get the details on our training page if you're looking for PMP or somebody in your organization is looking for PMP. Then this is for some of you, we just started our affiliate program. So if some of you want to partner with us, one of the way to grow the relationships and also to grow the business, to have partners. So this is our partnership program that we offer, and you can sign up. What's in it for you? You get 25% on products and self-paced training that I was showing you in the earlier slide, and also 10% on live trainings. So any live training led by instructor, virtual or in person, you get 10%. And your customers who you are going to promote this, they are also going to get discount. So they get 25% discount on products and self-paced trainings and 10% on live training. So you can offer them, hey, if you sign up, using my code, we'll give you a code. Then you get 25% off or 10% off based on what they are buying. So if you are interested in learning more about that, you can contact us as trainings@refineum.com, send an email, and then we will get into conversation. And one more big announcement for this year, we have also partnered with Kanban. So this is a tool for agility at scale. So it does portfolio management, it does initiative management, it does project management, task management, operations management, almost anything that an organization is doing. Anything that an organization is doing. Beautiful tool. A lot of automation is there. A lot of metrics are automatically created. So you know how the things are going, whether you're improving, not improving, because many tools don't provide you metrics automatically, but this is one of the tools that provide metrics. It has different levels of managing projects and operations. A beautiful tool. I have been using this tool already. I like it, and now we have partnership, and we are offering this to the customers in US and Europe. So anybody interested, please, they can contact us. Okay, so let's talk about this webinar today. So we'll go back to Menti again, and I want to hear from you, what kind of trends do you see from your perspective? So what are the kind of trends that you see from your perspective? So I'll give you maybe 30 seconds or so. All of you are here, and it's the same Menti, same place. If you go back, you should have it on your devices. So what trends you see for project management and agile in 2021? Some of you might be reading, listening, talking, shift from projects to products. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, all right. Engagement virtually, very good. Very good. Working remotely, adoption increasing, remote teams, remote, virtual, remote, more Kanban, distributed, flexibility in people work, virtual collaboration tool, hybrid approaches, work management. Very good. Very good. Okay, yeah, I think the if I want to summarize this, so virtual is that remote management, virtual collaboration, higher adoption of agile, hybrid approaches, more scaling, still confused on how agile works, and yeah, okay, all right, work faster, of course, work faster. Okay, let's go back here and let's see what are the 10 trends that we have identified. So, and we will talk about each one of them in much detail. Okay, but just to say, first of all, the impact of COVID will continue. We already had a lot of impact. Cybersecurity will be important. The third one is great, demand for project managers, PMOs, design thinking. If some of you know what design thinking is, you must be hearing about that. So this is something that is picking up some momentum. Somebody said increased Kanban. So yeah, there is a trend there. And collaboration, quality engineering. I think that's one thing which we saw picking up. Distributed teams. We talked about, and you also mentioned about remote. Agile coaching and transformation will rise because a lot of companies want to implement agile. So let's go into the details of each one of this. So first of all, continuing impact of COVID-19. So we all know that 2020 was had a lot of impact of COVID. We have vaccine there now. We all hear about it. It's now people are getting vaccine in many parts of the world, many countries. So there will be impact of that seen after a couple of months, but it may we may not achieve what they called as herd immunity by before fall or something like that, when 70-80% of the people would have got the vaccine. So 8 or 9 months still they're there, and we all need to follow the the safety measures that we already have been following. People will still keep working remotely, as we talked about. Many companies have already announced that they will allow remote work at least until June. I have heard many companies have done. Some even have gone ahead and did it until September, and some are saying forever. So that will be there. There will be less travel, less face-to-face. So if you are involved in a business or a project that require face-to-face, then you may have to find better ways, like you may already have found out. So there will be disruption, and there could be some new things that may come up, like we hear about a new strain has erupted in different parts of the world. So that all will happen. So the impact of COVID is not going to go away for most of this year. So that will continue, and all of us need to figure out a way to deliver our projects in a manner that we are still very effective and we're still very efficient. That continues. That's not going to stop, or that's not going to go away just like within weeks or months. That will stay here for longer time, almost most of this year. We hope it will happen, so the things will become so-called normal sooner. But most of the predictions from the experts talk about fall or later. Cybersecurity, and I think as more and more people are working remotely, are working on tools like Zoom and WebEx, and there is a lot happening on the internet, much more happening on the internet. And because of that reason, the cybersecurity becomes a challenge for many organizations. And as a project manager, what you need to do? So as a project manager, you should understand cybersecurity, have a better understanding of cybersecurity, and understand what are the best practices, and then make sure that your team follows those best practices. Because if you or your team or your project or your company is had the issue with cybersecurity, or you lose data, you lose time, and you lose there are a lot of impact over there. So you want to make sure that you have a good understanding. You don't need to be a expert and writing code and all those kind of things, but enough knowledge so you can navigate through the cybersecurity issues. So I think that's what is important. If you are a project manager and working remotely with your teams, and your teams are remote, a lot of usage of network, internet, you need to know that, and you need to know the best practices to navigate and make an impact on your team. So this is a very, very critical trend that we have seen. The third is that this is from PMI. You can see the source below. That the demand for project manager is continuously growing. 88 million project manager needed by 2027. This was a study that was done in 2017, 2018, that is still valid. Okay. And PMI predict 22 new jobs across 7 project-oriented sectors by 2027, almost a 33% increase in jobs available. And we all know that nature of job for project manager is changing. We all know that, right? But there is a demand. So if you are a project manager, you have a lot of experience, you have certifications like PMP, ACP, CSM, and all those kind of things, then you will stay in demand. So just keep delivering your projects successfully. Keep focusing on learning and growing. Don't stop that. Don't stop learning and growing. Learning doesn't mean only certifications. Yes, certifications is one way of learning, but there are other ways of learning, reading books and joining the peer groups and other ways of learning. And a lot of learning happens on the project, right? Cybersecurity, we were just talking about learning how to make the remote team effective, learning about the remote collaboration tools. So those are all the learnings that are very relevant in the current context. Okay. So, and if you have that knowledge, if you have that learning, I get, many times I get requests from different professional that I want to get into project management. What do I do? Right now, I'm coaching a person who is a quality lead or a quality manager, and she wants to go full time on project management, and that's doable. That's very much doable. So so the project demand for project managers and good project managers, okay, is growing. So apply yourselves, learn things, continuously increase your learning, maybe increase the pace of your learning, how fast you learn, and then apply those learning to your projects. Show that you have a differentiator. Okay, so there is a demand. I just wanted to tell you there is a demand, but if you are not an effective project manager, if you are a mediocre or not a good project manager, you may be struggling to find a job. But if you have a lot of knowledge, skills, and capabilities, you will be in demand. Okay, all right. So let's move on. PMOs need to innovate. So since there's a lot of change happening around, very fast change happening around, so the PMOs need to quickly innovate. All the old processes, templates, methods, the tools, technology that they were using to deliver projects is changing very fast, right? And a lot of PMOs did that in the past year when the work changed from on-site or in-person to remote. A lot of PMOs did that, and that actually puts kind of a pressure and challenge on PMOs to continue innovate. If they do not innovate, they are going to be gone. Okay, so that's very important for PMOs. They need to be innovative. They need to be agile, quickly change process, tools, technology to be relevant, to deliver projects in a very effective manner, to support their project managers, to support their teams. And the last one I was talking about design thinking. Design thinking for project managers. So what is design thinking? The goal of design thinking is to understand user and develop valuable solution based on specific needs. So it's like really understanding what they need. So it's little different than understanding requirements. So it's understanding needs, working with them, and designing with them actually. So not like creating a blueprint design or something, but involving them very heavily in the beginning. I have delivered several design thinking workshops where we come up with, what are the kind of challenges that team is facing, what they need to do, and how they are going to do this, and bringing the users together. So we don't start with the technology part, we start with the user part or the business part. So that's something which is picking up. There are techniques for doing design thinking. So if you want to learn design thinking for project managers, that's one area. So cybersecurity, remote collaboration, design thinking, those are the areas. Other than regular certifications, PMP, ACP, CSM, SAFE, and all that, right? So all that, those are not going to tell you about these things. Okay, so that's what you need to learn in addition to uh, those. So if you know what is a design thinking and how you can apply design thinking to your projects, that would be wonderful, right? That would be wonderful, and it's not too much time consuming. So for your project, you may have to do a couple of design thinking workshops remotely, maybe 2 hours at a time. You don't have to, if it is in person, usually it is 1 to 2 days workshop. But now that everybody is remote, doing 2 days at a stretch will be maybe a little bit impractical. But then you have flexibility now. You can do 1.5, 2 hours, 3 or 4 sessions, and bring that clarity about the project and what are the real needs of the users. Okay, so this is an area that is growing. And if you, so summarizing those 3 areas, remote working or remote collaboration, cybersecurity, and design thinking. Okay, just to give you a kind of a summary of these five trends, what you need to do different. This is what you need to do different in 2021. Okay, moving on to agile trends. So in agile, Kanban is becoming more popular. It is one of the most popular flavors of agile. There is Scrum, there is Kanban, there is XP, there is Safe, and whatnot. So Kanban is becoming more and more popular. And the reason why it is becoming more popular because of its greater flexibility, adaptability to change, and visibility of the flow. That's very important. So you can see the flow of information or the material, if they call what they call, from from start to finish, like you see in the board over here. So of the each of the business process, for example, let's say procurement process, I will not even talk about technology or IT word. This can be even used in non-IT environments. And so think about the procurement, purchasing, how the flows, like when they get a request, you request for a laptop in your company. How much time does it take for laptop to come? Some companies couple of weeks, some companies couple of months, right? How that process can be improved, how that lead time of 2 weeks or 2 months can be brought down. And that is what provides. That is where it can be helpful, not only in software development. So that's where it has more flexibility, adaptability, and visibility. It's a very visual kind of methodology. So that's why it is becoming popular. For last 4.5 years in my coaching with IBM, I have taught a lot of Kanban, lot of Kanban. And that was one of the reasons we partnered with a world leading Kanban tool, Kanbanize, as I was telling you, because I see a lot of people adopting Kanban, using Kanban, and you definitely need a tool, a good tool, to implement Kanban in your organizations. And Kanbanize is the #1 tool in the Kanban world. Okay, so there's a lot of increase in the Kanban. And the second one is more tighter collaboration between Agile and DevOps. So development and DevOps. Okay, so they will be working hand in hand, because what DevOps does is basically, if I were to take an analogy, DevOps actually paves the way for the team to start, walking on it. If that path that is paved by DevOps is smooth, the agile teams will run faster. If that path is not very smooth, then they will have roadblocks. If your team doesn't have DevOps, then the agile team has to first create the path and then move, right? So you can see how slowness happens. All the organizations that release code multiple times in a day, Amazon, Netflix, and all those companies, they have very strong DevOps, and they have invested a lot of money in DevOps to automate the process of building, testing, uh, and deploying the code. Very good investment. Yeah, it's an investment. It may not happen very easily. The DevOps, work is normally visible or normally seen in probably 6 months to a year, 1.5 years time. There's a lot of automation that DevOps can do for your software development work, so that as soon as the ideal will be that as soon as a developer has checked in the code, then that code is built, and it is also moved up in the process from dev to test to production automatically. All tests are run, and if the some of the things test fails, then the rollback is automatic. Information to that developer is automatic. So there's a huge amount of automation that it provides, but it needs investment. It needs investment, but it helps ultimately because it puts you ahead of the game from others. So you're not in a 2-week cycle of releasing the code. Okay, you can release the code at any time. And that's where again Kanban also is very helpful, because Kanban doesn't put any kind of a iteration or iteration nature. You can set your release as and when needed in real time. So that's what is DevOps can do for your agile teams. It is worth investment if you want to stay ahead of the game, if you want to reduce your time to market. All of us talk about time to market, right? But this is one way of doing it, having a DevOps and having a tight integration of DevOps with the agile teams. Quality engineering. So that's another aspect. All the models, agile models, talk about building quality in. Like I don't know if you are from SAFe or DSDM and all those kind of frameworks. And even Scrum, even they talk about building quality in, not testing at the end. Get early feedback, and the feedback could be from the testers, or it could be from the customer, or it could be from anybody. So the quality engineering is something that is getting traction. So you basically keep moving the detection of defects or gaps on the left, right? On the left means you discover them quicker than later. And we all know why that is, because the cost of fixing an issue is much more as it is more towards the right, more towards the production side. So if it happens in production, the cost is highest versus if it happens during development. So that's why building quality in, continuous testing to QA, continuous integration, continuous testing, all that are very, very important. Distributed agile teams is going to stay this way. Earlier, before pandemic, most of the agile teams were coached. I myself were coaching that you need to have co-located teams, and that's what was talked about. If you see the principle number 6 or 7, it talks about co-location. The face-to-face communication is the best. It is, definitely it is. But now, because of pandemic, the people were forced to do remote work, and that actually forced people to become innovative. Teams, organizations, engineers, DevOps, everybody made them to think how they can keep working remotely and still producing the best kind of code. So that's going to continue. That is absolutely going to continue. As I was talking about, even after the pandemic has gone by the end of 2021, this is not going to go away. So, for example, if it was earlier, the remote work was done by 5% of the agile team before pandemic, and during the pandemic it became 95%. Then probably what will happen pro pandemic, that it may be, actually I will think more than 50%, 60-70% teams will still be doing distributed or remote work. So project managers and agile team members, scrum masters, think about how you can make the remote work equally impactful, equally effective, and equally engaging. How can you do that? Some of the tools are going to provide you that. So you need to figure out how. So and bring that to your teams as soon as possible. Figure that out. And that's what I was talking about, the demand for project managers earlier in the beginning. You need to be learning. You need to be finding that knowledge wherever that knowledge is, and understanding it and applying it to your team. So distributed agile teams, some of you also mentioned about that, is not going to go away. It is going to be a new norm, and all of us need to learn how to stay effective, efficient, engaged while working remotely. And the last one here is that there will be a more and more demand for agile coaching and transformation. So teams will start using iterative approaches. They may use Scrum, they may use Kanban, they may use a hybrid approach. Whatever they use, they will see a need to understand how they can implement agile in their environment. And with my coaching experience, of coaching training experience, and working with agile team for over 9, 10, 11 years, is that each team, each organization is different. So one size does not fit all. So if you are in the process of implementing some of the agile practices, which project managers and scrum masters are, right? You are in that leadership role. So you may have to find out how you can quickly help the team. And if you do not have expertise, then you have to bring people from outside for coaching and helping you or expediting your transformation process. A lot of companies are investing time and money. And why? Because that helps them to stay ahead of the game. That helps them to improve their time to market, get more money. And one of the studies says that 33%, the companies that implement agile are 33% more profitable. Okay. So that there is a data that proves that if you are able to respond to your customer needs quickly, then there is a business advantage. And that is the reason why many companies would like to transform to agile. And that's where there is a need for agile coaching that is going to increase. And one of the challenge there is how do you know who is a good agile coach? There are a lot many people that they declare themselves agile coach, but they may not have a lot of experience doing that. So how do you know? How do you know? Look for the past experience, and don't look for what how many teams they coached. Ask for the outcomes. What happened as a part of the coaching? Did they improve any business outcomes? Did they improve any operational outcomes? Did they improve customer satisfaction? What happened? What were the outcomes? And if somebody is able to show those outcomes or talk about those outcomes, it means that is a more effective coach than the other one. Okay, ask good questions about coaching. Okay, so let's do a quick quick feedback here. So the question is, what are some of the questions you would ask to identify a high quality agile coach? Okay, so we'll go back to Menti and go to the next Next one here. So what are some of the questions would you ask to identify a high quality agile coach? Think about some of you who were involved in your agile transformations. Uh, Even if you are not involved in some, then you can think about, right? You are all project managers. You are all very intelligent, very knowledgeable. So think about, if you were to hire an agile coach, what challenges do you find getting the team adopt an agile? Very good, excellent. Team building techniques, ideas, yeah, you can talk about that. Definitely, you can talk about that. Any other thing, that what kind of questions you should ask? What experience do you have? Summarize. Okay, what experience? Okay, success story. Okay, what business value the team you coach provide? Yeah, I think that's a very good. What is the business value? 5 typical results you achieved. Yeah, that's a very good question. Very good question. Hands-on experience. What are your contribution to increase turnaround time? Yeah, okay. How did you do that? You know, how do you integrate trust to improve processes? Very good. Very good. Very good. Technical knowledge. What you will define as success for your coaching? Very good. How you define success? Different people define success in different ways, right? So how do you define success? Uh, 3 mistakes made by agile teams. Okay, very good. Uh, Good, excellent. So I'll say they are all very good questions. Very good questions. So when you hire somebody, because see, you are going to make an investment in time and money, you need to hire the right person. And this is not a developer that like the one of the 20 developers in your team. This is a person who is going to steer your company to a new way of working, new culture, new way of working. And that new way of working should produce measurable outcomes. If you say time to market, how much time to market has improved because of coaching? How much customer satisfaction has improved because of coaching? How much quality has improved because of coaching? How much employee engagement has improved because of coaching, right? Somebody was talking about 5 result areas. Yeah, 5 typical results. So so it's easy. 4 or 5 is very easy. If somebody has done real good coaching, they should be able to tell that what kind of results they have achieved, not with one team, but team. And I can tell you with my own working, you can actually produce results that can improve whatever you are improving by 15 to 40% in 4 to 8 weeks. 4 to 8 weeks. If the team is committed, they follow what you do. They're not of lot of politics and those kind of, and management is committed, you can produce those 15 to 40% gains in 4 to 8 weeks. It doesn't take years. It doesn't take years. It should be very quick. Very quick. Okay. So it is all doable. So ask for real results. Real results. I think that should be the starting question. And then you can have other questions. These are all questions what you have put here. They are all very good questions. And some of them are like repeating as usual, we know, in different ways or different words. But if you can see this screen, there are only 4 or 5 questions here, right? Only 4 or 5 questions here. So those are good enough. Those are good enough to basically do a very quick assessment, really no more than 30 minutes. And you can even ask the person to send you, beforehand, about answer of these questions or whatever. Okay. All right. Very good. So let's go back to where we were. So what are some of the questions you'll ask? So very good. So that brings to almost end of our presentation, but we have a little bit time. So presentation is ended, but the webinar has not ended. Okay. So we'll have still a lot of learning for you in a few minutes, as I was talking about the quiz part. But before we go to the quiz, I would like to know what are the kind of topics that you want to see in future webinars. We do one webinar each month, right? So what do you think will be useful for you to learn in this kind of a setting for maybe about an hour of webinar? What you would like to learn? Same menti.com, same place you have been using. More about Kanban. Okay, very good. Kanban, very good. More about Kanban. Design thinking, excellent, excellent, excellent. Design thinking. Okay, anything else? Um, Agile culture. Okay, introducing Kanban to business. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. Design thinking, agile culture, design thinking, more about DevOps. Okay, very good, very good, very good. Agile into waterfall. Yeah, actually, I have been teaching a course for last 3 years at PMI Seminar World, which talks about implementing agile in waterfall environments. So that seminar world, I have that going, and that's a 2-day workshop that I do. And if you need for your company, then let me know. And I think there is a training, 1-day training on that I do. If you go to my website, you will find a training implementing agile for waterfall teams, first steps towards agility, something like that. But design thinking, yeah, I think okay. So you will see some of these topics in our future webinars. Design thinking, that's the key part here, right? And so we'll definitely do something on design thinking very soon, and Kanban, and introducing Kanban to Biz and all that. So there are a lot of things here of Kanban. Different people said in different ways, so it called spread over, but I can see so many of these here. Uh, Getting slackers to work. Yeah, that's a challenge, and getting slackers to work is a challenge, but it's not a problem too. So why think about what in what culture you will have slackers? The culture that is not engaging, the culture that is not uh, encouraging, the culture that is not allowing people to grow. So that is where you see lots and lots of slackers. So it's a kind of, you need to change the culture, and agile culture is one of that helps dealing with those kind of situations. Okay, all right, very good. Very good. So let's move on. Let's go to PowerPoint here again. Quiz. Okay, the time for quiz. Okay. All right. Remember, I think there are 6 or 7 questions, and many of them will be based on what we covered today. Okay. So right away, refreshing those things, what you learned in last 40, 45, 50 minutes. So let's go back to Menti, and the next one will be a quiz. So though 8 people have already joined, uh, so no, 23 people have joined. So there are one of 8 questions. Okay, all right, all right. Give me another 15 seconds for you to join. I know there are 50 people um, in this webinar, almost 50 I see here. So I have 27. Anybody else? 28. Okay. Okay, very good. And the way quiz works is that you will get a question and you need to answer that question. There will be possible options. You need to pick the right option, and you have to pick it fast. Okay. The scoring is based on you answering correctly, and also answering is fast. Okay. So let's get started. So here's the first question. Everybody said it right. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Very good. So let's see who responded the fast. Yeah. Okay. Jimbo seems like. Yeah, Jimbo is the fastest one. I don't know your name, but you gave yourself the name Jimbo. Okay. Very good. Now we have the second question coming up. So which one is right? Okay. Yeah, I know that could be a little confusing, but you have to pick the most appropriate answer. Okay, so let's see how that changes the score. Is there any change? Who is the runner now? Jimbo is, no, Jimbo is now number 2. Okay, all right. So let's go and go to our third question here. And as I was telling you, webinar is not yet over. You're still learning. And some of you who are not participating are still learning, right? You're seeing what others are doing. Okay, so let's say, yeah, most of you are right. Most of you are right. Let's go to the next one. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, this number. So let's say who is leading. Is there any disruption? Okay, Jimbo is back. Okay, okay. Now, next question. Oh, we talked a lot about this. Yeah, most of you replied right. Okay. Okay, let's see if there is any disruption here. Okay, Karen is the leading now. Okay, let's move on. It says 8. I think there was 7. Maybe Philip created 8 questions. So let's see what happens. But you have to keep. Okay, we talked about this too. Let's see. Okay, most of you are right. Any change here? Okay, Karen is still leading. So let's see if Karen keeps the lead. Okay, very good. So most of you replied right. Let's see the score. Any change here? Okay, Karen is still leading. Oh, this has come second time.
Oh, I apologize for that. It looks like one of the questions ended up repeating.
Well, now you know the answer. Yeah, this time everybody got it right, of course. Well, Karen is still leading. And let's see what's the last question here. Can anybody? Okay, yeah, we talked about that too. Okay, let's see. That's right. Um, okay, let's see what happens here now. Is there any change? No, okay, Karen is the winner. So Karen, if you can take the screenshot of this screen and emails to trainings@refinem.com, then I will email you your Amazon gift certificate. Thank you very much. And congratulations, Karen. Well done. Everybody, well done. Okay, let's move on to our PowerPoint here. So conclusion, 2021 will still be defined by uncertainty due to COVID-19. I think that's the key message. Stay agile to deal with changes that come in 2021. Be looking for those. We talked about 3 or 4 major things. We talked about cybersecurity. We talked about remote collaboration. We talked about design thinking. We talked about Kanban, and we talked about agile transformation coaching part. So just keep those things in mind as you navigate your career and your projects in 2021. So let's see if there are any questions. We have 2-3 minutes left. Let me go to the chat and see if there are any questions. And okay. I am just looking. I don't see any questions here. You are more than welcome to put your questions, or Philip, you can open the microphones also for 2-3 minutes. And unless there is lot of noise, we can use the microphones. So does anybody has any questions?
All right, everyone should be able to speak now.
And we have next Lunch and Learn that's coming up, and we have our new PMP exam class starting on February 7. So if you or somebody is looking for a new PMP, how do we claim the PDU? Yeah, here it is. Okay, it is already registered webinar at PMI. The PMI, you have a claim code there, and all of you are going to receive the slide deck maybe later today. So you will see this slide, and this is the way you claim the PDU. Okay, the course is already registered, and it will be there for maybe a month. So if you don't claim within a month, it's gone. Okay, so I will say claim it right away. Any questions? And then these are a lot of trainings that are coming up, and I was talking about agile for waterfall and operational work. Somebody was talking about how do we implement agile in a waterfall environment. So that's on February 19th.
Did you say you were going to send us a note with the claim information?
We will send you the slide deck.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and one of the slides, as I was showing you, has all the details of how you claim the PDUs. Okay, you will get that. Since you joined this webinar, you might have registered through our regular registration process. And so part of that is that if you registered through our regular registration process, you will get it. If you don't get the slide deck by tomorrow, let me know. Most likely, Philip, when that goes out, Philip, the slide deck?
You should be receiving that later this afternoon, within a couple of hours.
Very good. Very good. Okay. All right. I'll be here for another minute. If you have any questions.